Well, I know they pushed trees over because back in 1974, I know, I'm old. Me and a guy named Blair Morris. He was wonderful. He's passed on. I wish he hadn't, because then I could go up island and get his stories. He used to call these two big Sasquatch guys the Swedes. Because they were so big. And we had met a couple Swedes who had come out to practice for Mount Everest by becoming tree planters. And they were big boys. They were like 6'6", 6'7". However, we saw these two Sasquatch men pushing over a gigantic fir tree on the slopes near Horn Lake, which is where all the caves are. And we went and watched them. And then Blair got scared and he said, let's get out of here. And I was like, but, okay. And we took off, but they were pushing this humongous fir tree right over on its side, like down the mountain. And he was like, those Swedes, man, are they ever strong? And I'm like, those aren't Swedes, bro. They're Sasquatch, man. That is really interesting, this hydrate here. And my battery is flashing, but that's okay. Yeah, and I have another story, I'll tell it another time, about when we were picking oysters about 1 in the morning, a whole crew of us, and the two Sasquatch guys were down the beach picking oysters. I'll tell you now. And Blair took a couple beers over to them thinking they were the Swedes. And he got there and he passed the beers and he was babbling away at them saying, come on over to the fire, we're cooking up oysters, blah blah blah, you're free to join us, we got lots of beers. And the big guy took the 2 beers and stacked them on the humongous stack of oysters that he had piled up on his arm. And when Blair came back, he was like, holy crap, those guys are so big. My head came to his elbow. And now Blair's my size, about 5'4", maybe 5'6". Yeah, and his head came to the guy's elbow. 5'6" to the elbow. Tell me how tall that cat was. Unbelievable. And we're watching him and I'm like, those are Sasquatch, dude. And they were just right up the beach, like 50 feet. They're wonderful. These guys were the Janasqua. Great, big, huge Sasquatch guys. The guys that come down and hang out here, they're either kids or they're just a smaller species. And if they have a big guy with them, he'd be laying down. Like laying down in the bottom. And everybody else just piles up on top of them. I don't think I've got anyone here today. I haven't heard any clicks, clacks, lip smacks, nothing like that. But you know, they're so good at hiding. They're so freaking good. Unless you go up island. They just wander around. And they don't, these two big guys back in the 70s, they never made any attempt to hide themselves. They would just, you know, they'd look over their shoulder at you and just kind of ignore you, and but keep an eye on you, kind of thing. And yeah, they're so used to being around humans, they just don't even give us a second thought. Look at this, how much they've piled through here. Very creative. Maybe my next life